Hello, this is David Waumsley back for a fifth interview with a fellow Beaver Builder user. This time it's with Diane Laidlaw, who's a fabulous designer, a popular YouTube tutor, a web agency manager, DJ, mother, that's just to name a few things. She lives in London and in fact I think within the sound of the Bow Bells, which makes her a proper Cockney sparrow as far as I'm concerned, and you can find her over at her website which is called thedesigncreative.co.uk. This interview was really good fun to do and I hope you enjoy it too. I'll see you on the other side. Diane, hello, welcome. Thank you for sparing me some time today. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm a bit tired, but I'm all right. I'm good.
Good. Hey, you're the only person we've had here by popular demand. I've just chosen people.
Really?
Huh?
Oh wow, that is crazy. Well, thank you. I hope I do a good interview. I'm not going to dance or sing or anything. Well, I could possibly do that, but no, it's not that type of show.
It's not. No, it's lovely to have somebody requested to come on. The only reason I'm here is because no one ever requests me to go on anything, so have to do your own show, don't you? Hey, let me get on with some of the questions here. So for people who don't know anything about you, can you give us the short story of what it is that you do?
Okay, so the short story is I am a web designer. I don't want to use really the term developer because I save that for the gods. So I'm more of a designer. I do a bit of HTML, a bit of CSS. I have my own YouTube channel as well where I teach people how to do things with WordPress. I'm a mother and a DJ and some other stuff that I do outside of internet. Yes.
I didn't know about the DJ stuff. Actually, I think I might have got a hint of that somewhere.
Well, the thing is, I've had my YouTube channel for a long time, and I used to do music production before I did web design, and I got a couple of videos on my YouTube channel which are to do with just music production, so it could have been from there.
I think that might have been it. Actually, do you know what? That's the interesting thing. You're the first person who said I'm a musician of some kind. Well, you're DJ, but involved in music. Yeah. And you know what? Nearly everybody I spoke to has some involvement in music, but apart from the people that I've asked on as guests on this, or they haven't mentioned it at least, so you're the first one.
Good.
I think there's a connection, no? I think there's something to do with that creative web development stuff and music.
For me, I think it's the connection. I think for me, the connection is my whole family are musical, and I am very much musical and into technology. So the move from going from music into producing my own music and DJing, it's only because there was technology involved. If there was no technology involved, if I just had a guitar or just had a piano, then I don't know whether I would be that successful with it. But the fact that I have to press things with a keyboard and move things with a mouse and look at a screen and I don't know, maybe it's just the whole thing. But quite a lot of my female producer friends are also web designers, which is quite weird, but I think it's to do with the fact that it's all computer related and smoother things.
It wasn't computer related in my day. We didn't have any of that stuff, you see, when I was playing music. And but something about I think something about the failed musician who goes to think, I'll do web design next. That's for me. Anyway, can I home in on the one bit that you do? I'll home in on your Design Creative. That's your website address, isn't it? Is that the place where you get clients for your web design?
Funny enough, I would say I get maybe about 10% clients. But I get more people from YouTube and I get more people from word of mouth. So I don't really do any advertising. I don't really do any, hey, look at me, I'm a web designer thing, apart from on YouTube. But that's more like, hey, look, I can show you how to do stuff kind of thing. It's more word of mouth. So the website is really just there to show people what I've done and to get people to fill web design briefs and stuff like that. I don't really use it to try and really push services, so to speak, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So yeah, the design creative was started about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you actually get started? What made you actually start doing your first web design?
Okay, so I got made redundant in 2009. Used to work for the local council, nothing to do with, well, actually I was working with computers, but not as a programmer or anything like that, just in customer services. So I got made redundant, and in 2010 I found out I was pregnant, and I had my child in 2010 and decided I am not going to work for anyone. I'm going to stay at home and look after my child until he's old enough to tell me to get lost. So I stayed at home, and television got really boring for me. So I decided, all right, I'm going to start a online baby shop. But the thing was, I had no money, so I had to try to figure out how I was going to do this online baby shop. So I had this idea in November. By December, I already had managed to source all these products online, and I decided I need a website. Obviously, I don't have the money to afford to give to anyone, so I started to look on YouTube, started looking at tutorials, and started teaching myself. I launched the site. It was successful to a certain point. I got loads of people buying from the store, but as well as people buying from the store, I had a lot of people emailing me saying, who did your website? Who did your website? And then when I said, yeah, I did it, they were like, okay, could you do one for me? And I was like, okay. And then just threw myself in the deep end. And then since then, I just haven't stopped making websites for people. And I literally just learned on the job. So that was back in, let's just say, around about 2011 is when I properly started to get into it. And I think I started doing my YouTube videos around about 2014 or 15 or something like that.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, the shop, was that WooCommerce or something else?
It was, so it was WooCommerce, but the way that I kind of did it was I phoned up a load of different companies and did a drop shipping thing with them. So for those that don't know what drop shipping is, basically there's an opportunity for you to call up suppliers to send products on your behalf. So they send products, like if I ordered a high chair from David's website, David doesn't have any stock whatsoever. He gets the order, he phones through to the warehouse, and then they send it out with no packaging of their own, so it looks like it's come from you. And that's what I basically did with a number of different companies all in London and all in England. And I no longer have that shop, unfortunately. But yeah, it was WooCommerce and it was a WordPress mashup. So yeah, I don't have that website anymore.
But that's brilliant. You know, I mean, I know a little bit about that because that's a big thing of Amazon now, isn't it? You can do this through Amazon.
Oh, yeah, Amazon. I think you can do it through eBay. There's a couple of things that you could do. I mean, at that time, I didn't know what it was. All I knew was I wanted to get a shop open, and I didn't have any money to buy stock. So I literally just went and Googled. Googled is like my best friend. If it wasn't for Google, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Honestly. So yeah, Google just helped me find information about how this whole process worked, and yeah, that's how I ended up going from shop owner to web designer.
Wow.
And loving it.
Yeah, I love that story. Hey, did you kick off then with WordPress? Is that your first experience of making websites?
Yeah, that was, well, I did, going back to the music thing, I did have a, I don't know if you remember, a site called Ning. That used to be a free social networking site that anybody could use.
Yeah.
So years ago, maybe back in 2008 or 2007, maybe even before then, when MySpace was the big thing, I had a a group called the Female Beat Makers Network, and basically it was a community for female producers, engineers, all the girls that kind of do back end stuff rather than front end stuff. And I built a community using Ning, and that was probably my first experience of trying to figure out where things are, changing colors and fonts and stuff like that. So I had a tiny bit of experience, and that website looked actually quite good. But Ning is pretty much templated anyway, so it's going to look good even if you're a crap web designer anyway. So yeah, I went from Ning into trying out other things. So I did try Wix for a little bit, and I was like, nah. I think there was Moonfruit.
Yes.
And then WordPress just seems like the best thing, especially when I was building the shop. It just made complete sense to use WordPress rather than any other solution. So, that was sort of an entry point for me,
Yeah. I mean, I know from your channel, I mean, you've gone through a lot of the software. I mean, you're really almost the face for, sorry, I've forgotten the name of it now, Headway.
Yeah. Yes. Headway, there's some crazy stuff going on with Headway at the moment, I'm sure you're aware of. Headway, to me, is one of my all-time favorite drag and drop page templating systems out there. I think it still is. Even though my heart is slowly going to Beaver Builder, I still have a lot of love for Headway. So my channel, when you go on it, is literally kind of Headway dedicated. But I do talk a lot about other WordPress stuff and other page builders. So I've done stuff for Themify, I've done stuff for Elegant Themes, I've done a couple of Beaver Builder tutorials, I've done stuff on MailChimp even. So yeah, it's not just Headway.
No.
But yeah, it's anything that I really like and I just want to talk about to other people. Yeah.
No, I had that was a defining moment, because I kind of had Headway on one side and Genesis on the other side, and I both were good, and I just thought, nah, I'll probably do the Genesis thing because I need to really get into a bit more of code, and there were more people talking about that stuff. So, and that was it. But it could have gone either way with me. So Yeah. How did Beaver Builder come along? How did you discover that?
I have a friend who was a member, because I've got a Facebook group for Headway users. Got like a private Facebook group there, and a friend of mine, Gerard, he was in the group and would constantly be talking about Beaver Builder. And I'm like, dude, this is a Headway group. Like, why are you talking about Beaver Builder? And he was forever posting up his affiliate links. And I just was like, I can't be bothered. And he was always going on about it. And I never really took what he said seriously until I heard somebody else talk about it. I'm so sorry, Gerard, but that's just basically what happened. Somebody else spoke about it, and I was like, I might try this out. So I tried it out, and at first I wasn't really excited by it. But then a project came up, and I thought, all right, let me give it a go and see, give it a test run. And the project was my own project. So the project was my own website. And I went from planning this website, like redesigning my website, for like a year and a half. It took me to try to figure out what I was going to do for my website. Couldn't figure it out. And then I turned on Beaver Builder, and within 3 days, I was able to redesign my website and just do a fabulous thing with it. So right now, the design creative website that you see is what I created using Beaver Builder. And now I'm kind of working, I'm still freelancing, but not really freelancing with individual customers. I'm working with the company now, and we predominantly use Beaver Builder. So now I'm in it like hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm starting to really see the benefit of it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a bit of everything. So it's a bit okay for people who've got no idea about design. It's good for guys who are developers who really want to actually hand code and do stuff in it. It's just great for everyone. And it's so user friendly, unlike Headway, which is a bit more on the advanced side. Beaver Builder was just right in that sweet spot of, it could anyone can really have a go at it and not get lost. So yeah, I think I've been playing with it for maybe a year now, I think. I've got to check my license, but yeah, I think it's about a year.
Hey, can I move on to that thing? Because I was fascinated, because that's what you're doing now. You're managing some folks, an agency? What is it? Tell me about it.
Yes. So I'm working for this internet marketing agency over here in London. I'm not going to mention the name of it, but
okay.
It's really different, I think, is the word. Going from being a freelancer to all of a sudden working with teams of people and managing teams of people, do you know what? I still haven't quite found the right word to describe what it is. It's just a completely new experience. I'm used to kind of dealing with clients face to face.
Yeah.
I'm used to dealing with clients straight from the beginning, straight up to the end. And now we've got like project managers and copywriters and videographers and all different people who are doing all different bits and pieces. I'm not in control. I sound like a complete control freak right now, which I probably am. But because I'm not in complete control and I can't see exactly what's going on, it can be a tiny bit frustrating.
Yeah.
But it is super rewarding when you have a team of people who are all working for a common goal, and everybody's got their own individual skill sets. Everybody's appreciative of everybody. There's no, I'm kind of like the only female in the company that does anything slightly technical in there. And the respect that I have within the company is just like, if I was to work in any other company, I don't think I could, because this company has kind of set the bar in terms of the level of respect and the level of commitment and dedication that everybody has within the company. So it is a major step from freelancing to managing teams. On the money side, like, the money's fantastic. It's much better from when I was freelancing. But the joy about freelancing, I guess, is the fact that it was my own personal accomplishment. Do you know what I'm saying? I got my own clients. I sustained all these relationships with these clients. I created all of their websites. I changed them. So it was more of a me type of thing on what I was doing for my clients rather than what we're all collectively doing for our clients. And that was that's probably one of the only differences. But I love it. I love my job, and I'm surprised that people are paying me money to even do what I'm doing. I'd be happy to do it here for free. But of course, I've got bills to pay and I live in the most expensive country in the world. So, I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
Do you actually work together in an office on a regular basis, or are you remote working?
No, so we all work from home, which is exactly what I wanted. Like I said, when I had my son, I was like, I don't want to just put my son in nursery and then put him in a babysitter's or put him in childcare. I didn't really want to do that. I really wanted to be a work at home mum. And I have been blessed to have been given the opportunity to work within this company and still only walk down my stairs and I'm in the office. Do you know what I'm saying? So it works brilliant for me. Right now we're in the half term. So the kids are off school for a week and I still get to stay home. I don't have to worry about childcare. I don't have to worry about, I've got to go pick my son up now. And I don't have that added stress. I'm here when he goes to school and I'm there to pick him up after school, and he knows what mummy does, so he's pretty cool. He plays Xbox a lot, so his thing is that's his work, and mummy's doing her WordPress work, so his Xbox is his 9 to 5. WordPress is fine.
Hey, I don't know what to go at next for the questions, because in a way you're in a group environment. Is that predominantly male? Are the people in your team male mostly?
Yes. I mean, we have one female I was going to say, we have one female lady. Ooh. So we have one lady who she does copywriting, but other than that, I'm the only female in the group who does anything kind of technical, design-wise or developing-wise.
Okay.
And we got some of the team is nobody's in London, funny enough, but when we have big team meetings, they do them in London. Most of the people are out in the UK, or we have a team in the Philippines. We have some people in the States, but we're mainly based here.
Ah, okay. No, I was just asking it really. I asked, we had Chantel on, and I really asked that question about whether there was anything there in being a female, anything interesting being a female in what always appears to me to be a very male-dominated kind of occupation. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's just all designers. That's what she kind of went down the path, that most of the designer types that she knew were female, and it was just really the devs that were the men.
I'll be honest with you. I find that women tend to do better designs. I don't know whether it's because our minds are just that we're able to just get things together and do better designs. Men, I find, are much more, and it may even sound sexist, and I'm sorry if it does sound sexist. I really don't mean it to be. It's just from my own experience and what I've seen. I find that men are pretty much, their brains are pretty much wired to go in one direction, and they are more problem solvers than anything. So things like coding and all of that kind of stuff, they are fantastic at, because they're able to kind of get to certain directions and know, right, from a logical standpoint of view, this is how it's going to be. Women can do that as well, don't get me wrong, but I find our greatest strength is when we're just super creative. I haven't found many female developers. I do have a friend who literally a year ago was just doing HTML and CSS, and now she's got this amazing job working with Amazon, and she's a full-time developer now. So I think it's down to how your brain is kind of wired. I know for me, I kind of sit in the balance of, like, sometimes I'm a coder, sometimes I design, but I prefer the designing part. Don't get me wrong, I still get turned on when I have to do a bit of CSS and HTML, but I love the designing part. I love the Beaver Builder part as well. I love transforming what I've done in Sketch and then moving that over into Beaver Builder and seeing it, you know, in the browser. Some people as women do get negative experiences working in a male environment. Like the lady that I was talking about who works in Amazon, me and her had a discussion last week, and she explained that where she works, the men there have to double guess what she's saying to them. So she troubleshoots a problem, and because it's come from her, they would rather ask somebody else, or there'll be some kind of, instead of talking to her on a normal kind of level, they may throw in words like babe or hun, or be quite sexist in the way that they talk to her, or be over friendly, not really sexist, but over friendly. And she has a problem with that, you know? So I think it's kind of down to, some people have those experiences and some people don't. I mean, if somebody called me babe in my workplace, I really wouldn't take offense by it, but that's just me. I just think everyone's super friendly. Yeah, I just think that. But some people don't think that, and that's fine for them to not think that as well. So I really think it just depends on individuals. I really do think as well that women need to really try and get themselves involved in the tech industry. I think because there's not a lot of people out there who are role models, that women tend to think that they can't be. And that was a prime example of why I started this female beat makers community a couple of years ago, because I wanted women to see that, okay, well, we don't just sing and dance, but we could also engineer, we can also play the drums, we can also do all these other things. And even though you don't see it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So I'm not trying to be a role model, but I'm literally trying to say to people that as long as you put your mind to it and it's something that you're interested in doing, then just try it out. Even if you're not interested in doing it, and you just want to try it out. I just tried it out, and now I'm like, gosh, I wish I thought about this 10, 15 years ago. So just try out anything. And if you find that you're more of a designer than a developer, if you find that you're more of a developer than a designer, then just immerse yourself in the community. Sign up to loads of Facebook groups, meet other women, meet other males, meet whoever who's in the industry as you. Go to WordCamp, which I was able to go to this year. Just immerse yourself in it, and you'll get better and better and better at it, whether or not you're female or not. You'll be better at it if you immerse yourself in it.
I'll probably stop asking that question. I ask it only because, I always think things go wrong when there's not a good balance of people in any area, and I just thought it was, that's why. So actually,
I still think it's to mention, because people still, it is a good thing to mention, because there is a large majority, especially in the web community, women are not represented in a way. And it's not because the males are not allowing us to be represented. It's just because women are just not going into these careers. And the tech industry actually does notice that, and gives, for instance, there's the Web Summit that's coming up, and they're giving companies free tickets to women because they know that women are not coming to these things, and there's a very, very low shortage of women in the industry. So it is a good thing to talk about, because people still need to know that this stuff does exist, and there is, there's not many women doing this. There's not many women of color doing this. There's not, so yeah, it does still need to be talked about, even though it can be a bit boring sometimes talking about it. It still needs to be mentioned, I reckon.
Brilliant. Actually, well, I mean, we touched on so many times the thing that I know you for, and a lot of people in the Beaver Builder community know, and that's for the beautiful designs you do, because the ones that we've seen, they're so stylish and tasteful, and they're not, well, they're lovely. You always seem to get it right, but they're not also particularly overtly feminine or something, they're not girly. Like I see in the Genesis community, they have some very female designers there, and they're very, they go to the other extreme, if you like, of the boxy male ones and go very girly. Yours are really very tasteful. So I want to know a little bit about your process.
Okay, so to be honest, I don't have much of a process. I think for me, it's all about trying to find the heart of your client. Once you have a relationship with your client, and I'm not just talking a relationship in terms of, all the business objectives. I mean, the relationship of who you're dealing with as a person. Like most of my clients, I know their kids, I know what their names are, I know, what they like to eat. I just really get in there because I really want to know who that person is. Yeah. So when I create a site for them, it's not just about the business. It's about, it encompasses everything. So I don't really have a template or a thing that I'm thinking of in terms of, right, I'm going to make it like this or anything like that. I just kind of feel who the client is, and then kind of do a little bit of research, look at other websites who are either in the same industry as them, look at websites which are not in the same industry as them, because what you tend to find is, for instance, I might be working with a plumber one day and he's like, okay, I want a website done, and I look at 50 plumbers' websites and they all look shit. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I can't use these for design inspiration at all. I'm going to have to revolutionize how the plumbing industry web design is going to look. So I do a bit of research. I do look at other websites. I do kind of take snapshots of things that I like, just in general, whether it's a button here or the font here or how they made this move. So I do have my own little library of stuff that I collect. But to be honest, it's all to do with time, and how much time you want to put into designing. Like for me, I know at minimum I'm at my computer 6-7 hours a day at minimum, and I've been doing that non-stop for about 5 years. So I've looked at a ton of websites, I've looked at a lot of how the web industry has changed, and I've incorporated what I like. I like minimalism. I don't like a lot of things moving unnecessarily.
Yeah.
I like sleek stuff. I like it when it just looks. I like thin fonts, just little bits which might work for some people, may not work for another person. So I guess it's just all about engaging with your client, knowing who they are, doing a bit of research. And if you don't have clients, my biggest advice to you is, if you don't have clients or you're in between clients, don't just sit at home and look at something else. Like, create projects, look at websites that you like and try to replicate them. I know in the beginning when I first started doing this whole web design thing, I literally went on every website that I could find, even ones that didn't even look that great, and I copied exactly what they did pixel for pixel, not to give to a client, but just to see how things were laid out. Okay, so they used a lighter font there instead of a darker one, right? They didn't use a darker color on that because of the contrast. They didn't, there's a lot of spacing between the elements. So I kind of learned all these things just by looking at individual websites and just doing it over a period of time. So
wow,
that's my process.
No, that's good. I mean, that's the thing, that even when you can't hand somebody a template and make them producing it good, because they'll always pick a wrong font. They will not understand spacing, negative space and all that. And you seem to understand that, but you've not had any formal training to understand that, but it's in there. You use the right fonts, use the right kind of space, so you don't need to add a lot of flash and it still looks nice, so that's why I'm interested. It's but you start from a graphic in the first place, isn't that right? You then convert, you don't design in the browser, is that right?
That's right. I always work in Sketch first, and then I go and then I move everything into Beaver Builder. And some people are like, well, why are you doing it twice? But for me, I prefer to do it that way because, if I ask somebody to build me a house, they're not just going to go and buy the bricks and build me a house. They're going to get a plan out and they're going to sketch an idea of how things are going to go. So they know exactly how many bricks to buy. They know exactly how much plaster they need because they pre-planned it. So for me, it's quicker for me to get that kind of look in my design because I pre-planned how everything is going to look in Sketch. I used to use Adobe Fireworks before, but now they've stopped production on it. I'm now a Sketch converter, and I love it because it takes it's quick. So I can sketch a design out in like 4 hours, which means that by the time I move it over to Beaver Builder, I'm not in Beaver Builder for more than maybe 3 or 4 hours building out the site. So because I've already got it pre-planned, I know exactly how big the buttons are going to be, what font I'm going to use in the buttons. I know the colors. I'm not going to be faffing around with images, trying to it's all going to be done for me. So that's why I kind of build in Sketch first. It just gives me a much better visual seeing how things are going to be visually before I go into Beaver Builder. But if people design in Beaver Builder, if you want to design in the browser like that's your thing. For me, Sketch is how I would prefer to start, and then into Beaver Builder.
Yeah, that's the much more traditional way. That's even when I see new publications on design, it's still the preferred method. I think when for designers doing it, I think the only thing that comes about the designing in the browser is when you're thinking a little bit more content-wise first and prototyping for clients. If you have to get into that business, then there's a sort of sense to it, and then you build your design out afterwards. But no, anyway, I really like your stuff. We've been talking for quite some time, haven't we? I've probably covered all the topics. I don't know if you heard that. There was a whole load of noise went past, so that was the end of our illegal bullfight over here.
Oh wow!
So so that's what I get in India. So and I miss London a little bit. So where are you in London? I don't know this.
I am literally, if I look out my window, I can see the Olympic field. So I'm in Bow, but the Olympic field's based in Stratford, but it's so big that I can literally just look out my window and see it. I'm kind of on the border of Bow and Stratford. So I'm in East London, for people that don't know what Bow and Stratford is. And Bow and Stratford are little regions within London. So yeah, I'm sort of in the heart of West London. Used to be a place where it was very creative, but now it seems like East London is the place of creation and music and vibes and all of that stuff. And we're right next to the financial city, or the banking city, or whatever they call it over there. So it's quite vibrant. It's quite loud. Right now I've got window cleaners. I don't think you can hear them, but they're just there cleaning. The weather's not so bad today, and it's been weird because this whole year hasn't really been bad in terms of weather. It's usually pissing down with rain, but today it's nice. It's warm. I can go out in this and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's weird. As you know, for London, we should be raining. It should be raining right now, and then like we should have sun in about 25 minutes, and then back to raining again.
Absolutely. Oh gosh. Well, I know your neck of the woods very well. I used to work all around there, and you've become all gentrified. You've become all gentrified now, haven't you? It's got the East End of London's got all posh. Well, it's got extremes.
Parts of it has become posh, yeah. Parts of it has. I kind of like how things are turning out here, the new shops that are coming. And I think it's mainly because people like you and I who, you know, we don't necessarily want to work for, we want to work for ourselves, so to speak. So there's a lot of people around here who are like, you know what, I'm not going to work for, and I'm not going to do a 9 to 5 with this person. I'm just going to set up my own business. So I see a lot of businesses being set up independently by people. And yeah, some companies are going to get pushed out and stuff like that. But I think that's just how cities evolve. You know, if we didn't evolve, then we would have the old, like, horrible houses that we might have had back in the 70s, or, you know, we would have the old shops that we used to have back in the 70s, and there'll be nothing new. And the people around here are getting younger. They're not really getting older. The older ones are literally just moving out, which, you know, ideally I want to do as well. I want to move out somewhere out into the country. I don't really want to stay in London because it's just a bit too much for me even. I like quietness. I like where you are right now. You know, you're sitting with the trees in the background. That's my thing. I've got a fake tree right here. I haven't got a real one.
Well, I was fooled. Yeah. No, I think people do like to work from home these days. You can't bear the idea of getting on the tube. I could not bear that now. Oh. Yeah, spoiled. Hey, Diane, I better let you go. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to me at short notice. I hope this has come out well. Yeah, so do I. And I'll catch you on the Facebook group a bit. You've been busy recently, haven't you? So we haven't seen you as much as we did before. Yeah, I haven't done any videos on my channel for a little while because I have been pretty busy, but I do aim to do some, definitely Beaver Builder related, because I've learned so much the past couple of months working with this company and working with Beaver Builder a lot more. So I do have some tutorials and things that I'm definitely going to push out, but I'm glad because you're doing them as well. So, you know, it takes some pressure. It takes some pressure off the rest of us because you're doing some, so it's all good. Yeah. Well, there's so much to cover still, isn't there? Oh, wow. You know. There is. Yeah. There is. Diane, thank you so much. I'll let you go, so I'll say goodbye then. Thank you. See you later. Bye. Bye. Hey, thank you for watching to the end. Thanks to Diane. Also, a special thanks to Brenda Malone. I had Diane on my list, but Brenda helped to see that this interview came along a bit earlier, and I really enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it too. Well, I'm done, so I'll hope to catch you on another interview soon, or maybe one of my tutorials, but you have a great day, and see you soon. Bye-bye.